Okay, today in our Unicorn Innovation Talk series, we have a very special guest from our campus. It's Dalia Freitag. She is Associate Professor at the Institute for Biology. And as I look at LinkedIn, she's also Chief Scientific Officer of Dalan Animal Health. So welcome, Dalia. Happy to have you here. And my first point would be, can you introduce yourself? Why are you in Graz and what are you doing here?
First of all, thanks for having me over. I'm very excited about it. So what I'm doing in Graz, like I said, I'm doing honeybee research mostly, but also working with ants. So I'm really studying how social insects are adapting to different stressors in the environment and how they are being more resistant to diseases and how they transfer this knowledge from one generation to another. So that is my academic life in the University of Graz.
And it started in Finland, I think, the academic life?
Yes, I mean, it actually really started in Estonia, where I did my master's degree.
Okay.
After that, I moved to Germany, and then I moved to Finland, and short while in Norway, and after that, I came to Graz, Austria.
Okay, a great journey throughout Europe, through the scientific world of Europe.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now you're focused on ants and bees, and in this surrounding, there is the formation of the Dalan Animal Health. How does that come?
Yeah, that is actually, I think it's a really nice story, how you can really grow a company out of basic research by just being curious about the world and biology around you. That's what is the Dalan story. So Dalan actually started as a crazy idea in Finland, where I was studying the same question, how are bees making their offspring more resistant to diseases? And it was me and another researcher, and actually all the girls out there who thinking they're not good enough, there was just two really young postdocs being curious about honeybees and their health. And when we figured out, hey, there is this specific mechanism we managed to describe, and helped us to understand how they are passing kind of vaccine from one generation to another. And so basically the thought was born, hey, actually that could be brought into the real world. So of course it was scientific discovery, but that scientific discovery had so much implications for the real world that we decided to give it a go. And we started by asking for colonization funding from Finnish government, what we managed to get at that moment. And that basically led in the end to the moment where, well, we have IP now, so we have a patent on that, and it went to the birth of Dalan Animal Health.
Great story. So Graz is a very perfect place for everything which is around bees, I would say. As a member of the University of Graz, I can say we are proud the center of the bee research, at least in Europe. I mean, you're the expert, but there's another continent in that game, which is the United States. So how does Los Angeles come into the Dalan Health?
Yes, so this is like comes the challenging part of actually spinning out technology from university. So university is really good in taking care of the patents, but now really, how do we make the next step? How do we fund the company? And how do we find the funding for company or not funding for company? And for that, I kind of got lucky probably because Helsinki University Innovation Services is very active in trying to find this contact between entrepreneurial side and the researchers. So they put me in contact with several people, and among one of those was like, I think your idea is so cool, I'm gonna drop my other job and I will start a company with you. And that was actually another female entrepreneur. So hey, girls, there's definitely a chance to do something if you really set your mind on it. And so we teamed up with Annette, and she's based in Los Angeles, and she has a long experience in spinning out the companies from university and entrepreneurship. And US is way more consolidated market for a honeybee, so that's why we decided it will be probably way easier to raise funding and bring the first product in the market than European Union. So that's why Dalan Animal Health, though coming from Europe from a research point of view, is a company in US.
So more or less by accident, would Annette have been in Graz, for example, we would have been in Graz. Yeah?
Absolutely.
So we can say that the R&D department of Talan is based here in Graz.
Exactly, that is correct.
Okay.
R&D is done in Graz right now.
Okay, and so I read in the news that you secured a seed funding, I think $1.9 million. So what will be the next steps?
So our very concrete next step is like right now we are in discussions with the regulatory organs to have a license to put a product in the market. So that is the goal for 2022, to have a licensed product in the market what we can start selling.
Great. So as I guessed, it would be the world's first vaccination for bees. Is that right?
Yes, it is the most amazing thing about it. It is the very first vaccine for honeybees, but not only for honeybees, it's the very first vaccine for insects in general. So I think it's going to be really a page turner for insect health in the world. As you know, the bees are disappearing, the insects are disappearing, so really solutions are needed. And Talan is pioneering these solutions and bringing on the market very first solution.
Impressive. So it's a kind of a platform technology.
It's a platform technology. So in the future we can imagine bumblebees, other insects that we are growing for food, for example, crickets or grasshoppers. You know, your muesli bar might already contain at least 3% of grasshoppers or crickets or mealworms. So this is very important, you know, alternative protein market. So here again, you know, when we are growing insects in high amounts, then the diseases will spread. But if it's for human consumption, we cannot use antibiotics in most populations. So I think something like vaccination could be of use there. And of course, shrimps, well, they're very close to insects as well.
Great. So that's very motivational from you. So what do you have some 1 or 2 or 3 points which you have learned, which you can give further on to researchers maybe here on the campus of the university or on at the university? Which would that be for young researchers, for women in science, for example?
Be brave, think out of the box and just do it.
Okay, just do it. That's also what we are doing here. So thank you for listening and thank you for being our guests. Really great what you have achieved, and hopefully will be the next spin-off will be directly out of the research of the University of Graz. Thank you, and we will watch your career as Talan Animal Health CSO. Thank you.
Thank you so much.